My role in this production was to take Judith's drawings, Judith Bowden, the designer's drawings, and interpret them so that we could create a physical manifestation of it that would work in the space. The first thing I do is I draw it, but I take her drawings and I start doing them in AutoCAD. And I'll just take like any one of these towers, I will take the outline of it, decide what it has to do and how we're going to make it do that. And you're always trying to keep in mind, it has to come apart at least once to get down here. So these trucks are able to roll into a transport truck, as are. So we just rolled them in, closed the doors, brought them down, unloaded them, and then we just started building on top of them.
We do a little research of resources, and one of the two things that were quite influential, apart from Judith's, she gave me references, were two books. One was on the aftermath of Hurricane Katrina, and also Detroit in Decay. All buildings that were once something, whether industrial or and palaces, but they're all just forgotten. We actually used paper and texture and a lot of glue to create the folds of walls that are falling apart. Yes, and then we use a lot of paint in sprayers that we just literally spray on and then add water and then let nature just make it all drippy and wet. And then we'd come in and be very careful about some areas of breakdown, like on the yellow, we'd actually be quite particular about that. So having that difference between being very tight and very loose works quite well. So.
Yeah, we had to come up with a flesh that Mrs. Lovett grinds up in her meat shop in her grinder, using a product called agar-agar, which is a gelatin used in petri dishes with red food coloring and Wonder Bread. Made fabulous meat. So we had to come up with a way of these pies disappearing but actually not being eaten because they are singing at the same time. We found a fabric that we could print on and produce all the pies out of fabric, and so when they scrunch them down, there's no noise.
As I said to all my welders this year, you don't have to be pretty on this one. Judith wants ugly. She wants it, we had her in the shop bending all the railings. She would say, bend this one this way and this one this way. I mean, that's fun.
We had a big, huge decorator hopper, air gun, full of texture, and we just blasted the walls with that, and it created great big, huge, like pus things. It was quite gruesome, but quite fun.
Try to always be around for the first on stage because it's exciting to see. I mean, it's just an exercise really in the shop. But when the actors hit it, then the exercise is over. Now you realize this is what you're really doing. You're making a world for them. Ultimately, we're just building things. We're building things. It's a kid's job, really. I mean, you're building tree forts. This is one big tree fort. Every show is like a big tree fort, and it's exciting that way. We all want to have fun, I guess. But if you're able to have fun at work and after work, then I think that's a bonus. That's a bonus for us all.